Hello fellow woodworkers and welcome to this week's edition of the Garage Workshop. In this week's update we're going to be talking about some of the projects that I've got coming up in the Garage Workshop, as well as looking at some of the YouTube channels that I'm watching at the moment, and lastly finishing on some upcoming Parkside tools. Let's get going. So like many of you, I spend a lot of my time watching YouTube videos, woodworking ones, and in some of my previous workshop updates, I've shared with you some of the channels which I'm watching a lot at the moment. So I've just picked a few this week, which you may have heard of them, you probably will have heard some, but maybe not all of them, that are well worth a watch. So the first channel is The Essential Handyman, and I'll put a link in the description to Ian's channel. It's a fantastic channel. I've spent quite a long time watching some of his videos. Really diverse range. He's got a really lovely, easy style, and I've picked up some great tips. And the thing I like about his channel is there's a wide range of things in it. It's not just all woodworking projects. Some of his videos are about concrete, brickwork, all sorts of things. So if you're interested in a channel that's got a lot of variety, then give Ian's channel, The Essential Handyman, a look. It's well worth it. The second channel is one of probably the most popular channels on YouTube, and it is Blacktail Studios. Now, I've only started recently watching the videos from Blacktail Studios, and if you're into big, expensive builds, then this is the one for you. Some absolutely amazing stuff is created on this channel with a very, very significantly high dollar value. Not something that I would ever want to do, but I really like the way that the projects quite often involve using resin, and it's really nicely created. Some of the tables and some of the units that he does is absolutely fantastic. As I said, it's got over 2 million subscribers, so I'm sort of the last one to the party on this, but a really, really good channel, especially if you're thinking of doing some epoxy work or some of the things that you can do with it. Well worth giving it a shout. So go and have a look. Tell me in the comments what you think. The next channel I want to recommend to you is one that I found really recently, and I've really enjoyed going through and watched the back catalogues. It's WillWood DIY and Woodworking, and it's really aimed at beginners, and there are some really good videos on here. There's a mixture of different things, woodworking projects and other things, and it's a very nice, easy style of watching the videos. They're incredibly well produced, and if you're looking for a particular skill, maybe it's worth going and have a look on WillWood and see if he's already done it or if it's on there for you to look at how to do it. So a really good channel, particularly if, like me, you're a sort of entry-level beginning joiner, but some great tips and techniques in that channel, so go check it out. The fourth channel that I'm going to recommend for you this week is Matthew Peech's channel. Now, along with Blacktail, I'm probably the last one to the party when it comes to this channel, but some really interesting videos on Matthew's channel. What I particularly like about them is he does a mixture of projects, but he does lots and lots of sort of hints and tips and some really good, useful shortcuts. They're definitely worth checking out. So his YouTube channel, again, it's about 300,000 subscribers, but it's well worth dipping into. If you're looking for something particular, then go and have a look, see if he's got it. He's got a really easy, nice style to his videos as well. They're very well made, and very jealous about the state of his workshop. But if you are after another channel with maybe some good instructional things, give Matthew Peech's channel a shout. The last channel that I'm going to recommend to you this week is one that I have really fallen in love with a bit. It is the Plywood Working channel. Now, the reason I like this channel so much, I think personally a lot of these videos are way beyond my technique. I will never be able to create some of the things that are created on this channel, but I absolutely love the quality of the products that get made on this channel. They're absolutely fantastic. There's some really good hints and tricks and tips as well, but some really phenomenal products, all pretty much with plywood. So really, really worth looking at. And if you've got a project that's coming up then you're going to use plywood, then it's without a doubt worth a shout. Really, really good channel. It's got about 140 odd thousand subscribers, so it's not like Blacktail, it's not a massive mega channel, but some really lovely videos, really well thought out and really well put together. So my last recommendation is Plywood Working. So one of my main upcoming projects this year in the garage workshop is to change this. My wood storage, my units, it's all become really, really messy and untidy, and I'm not lucky enough to just have the garage for all of my workshop bits. I've also share it with the lawnmower, the chicken feed and things like that, but I'm really not happy with the way that I've got my wood set out. I have got a video, I'll put a link in the description, of when I made this framework and I put it on the wall, but to be honest with you, it's very cumbersome, and although the shelves sounded like a good idea at the time, they've really not worked out to be that way. It's quite hard to get the wood off. I think some of the wood is overstacked, so I'm going to go for a completely different strategy, and what I'm thinking I might do is make something more mobile, like a work cart, because apart from everything else, it would be nice to have a bit more workspace in the garage workshop than I actually currently have. So I'm going to go for some sort of mobile cart, and that's a theme for the garage workshop this year. All of my units that I've got are all going to be slightly remade or adapted so that they're on wheels, so that they can be moved around and I can use the space that's in the garage workshop a bit better. So one of my upcoming projects is to change this mess, and another one we'll have a look at now. So this is going to be another one of my projects on the garage workshop. At the moment, all of these units are pretty much fixed onto the floor. They carry quite a lot of weight, particularly this one, but my miter saw station, I think, could be made much more mobile than it currently is. I've watched quite a few videos on YouTube about making mobile miter stations, and the one thing that I don't like about this is I'm trapped here in the workshop. If I want to take my miter saw outside, I can do it. I've got one of the miter saw stands, but to be honest, it's a lot of hassle, and if I had it in a more mobile way, I could take it out or move it to different places within the garage workshop. And this was one of the first things that I made, and although it's good, that's all it is. It's just good. It's not great, and I think there's a lot of improvements that I can make. So that is another one of my projects. The last project is going to be to work on these two storage units. They don't get used enough for the amount that they take up, and the drawers that are in them are far, far, far too big for what I need. I need to have better storage that's neatly laid out with more drawers, and drawers that aren't so massive, and a better way of storing tools and things like that. So these are some major projects that are coming up in the garage workshop over the rest of 2023. The last section of the workshop update is about an upcoming Parkside tool sale. Now, normally when I talk to you about Parkside tools, I've already purchased them and it's either a 10-minute tool review or it's me telling you they're in the shops. But coming up next week, next Sunday, is a Parkside DIY feature in the middle of Lidl. So there are a few items in there that I wanted to draw your attention to. There are things I've either got myself or I've used myself, which I think are A, worthy of a purchase, and B, really good value. The first one is the Parkside cordless jigsaw. I'll put a little picture there. Now, I'm not sure what's happened here, because in my local Lidl, these appeared today when they should have been here next week. So it's worth checking in your Lidl if you've got one near you, if that's something that you want to purchase. Now, this is just the bare bones unit. It's $29.99. They've also got batteries that are on sale at the moment. In fact, they pretty much always have batteries. But this jigsaw is actually a really nice piece of kit. And as I've mentioned before, it has a lot of features that you would expect in a jigsaw that's a lot more expensive. And I recently did a review of a DeWalt jigsaw. I'll put a link in the description to that. And this Parkside one has got a lot of those features. So if you're in the market for a jigsaw, maybe well worth picking up. Okay, the next tool that's coming up for sale next week is this, the Parkside belt sander. Again, I've done a 10-minute tool review of a Parkside belt sander and I'll put the link in the description. A really nice piece of kit, and what I like about this in particular is it's really well made, very, very sturdy, and it's not cheap and plastic. A lot of the body is made of metal, which it really wouldn't expect for a sort of cheap budget tool, entry-level tool. But it's a really, really nice sander. It's nice and powerful. I have got a video, as I said, which is well worth a look if you're in the market for it. But with belt sanders, there's lots of them about, and this one in particular, there's lots of videos on YouTube where people have converted these and sort of built them into boxes to make a proper sander. So if you're in the market for one, well worth a shout at £39, the Parkside belt sander. Okay, the next tool is the Parkside multi-purpose tool. Again, I think I've done a 10-minute tool review on this. My one is the battery one, and it is a fantastic bit of kit. It's equally as good as some of the main level brands like Makita and DeWalt, but literally at a fraction of the price. Now, the Parkside multi-tool that's coming up next week is actually the cabled one, which is a lot more powerful than the battery operated one, and obviously it doesn't have a battery. It's $29.99, which is really good value. It comes with a nice selection of different ends and different tools for different things. But if you're in the market for one and you don't mind it being cabled and you want that extra power, then at $29.99 I don't think you can beat it in terms of cost. It's very, very well built, really solid plastic cast body with lots of metal. So the handle on the top on mine is metal. It's a really, really nicely constructed little tool. So if you're in the market for a little multi-tool like this, well worth a shout. And lastly, two little items which you may have missed, or you may miss if you're walking through looking for something bigger. These Parkside work gloves, which are $2.99, are fantastic. They're very strong, very tough, very durable. They come in 2 or 3 different colours, and they've got a really nice rubberized feel to them. They're very comfortable and they're super, super warm. I've got a few pairs of these, and I always keep a couple of pairs in the cupboard, and I always stock up when they have them because they're really nice quality gloves. And for $2.99, I don't think you can get better than that. So if you know that you've got some gloves coming up, or even if you don't use gloves in your workshop and you think perhaps you could, then they might well be worth it. The next one is a set of anti-static tweezers, also made by Parkside. It's a 10-piece set, it's £5.99, and what I like about these tweezers is there's lots of different varieties in them. There's different shaped heads, different sizes, some are pointy, some are strong. They're not the tightest gripping scissors in the world, but I have used these on a number of occasions for different projects around the workshop. So if you think, not sure about that, I can assure you, well worth the £5.99 that you're going to invest in them. Really nice quality pack of tweezers. So we've come to the end of the little workshop update, and I'm planning on doing one of these every month just to keep you in touch on what's going on, what I'm looking at, and anything that's upcoming which I think is worth bringing to your attention. I just want to say thank you so much for all of your ongoing support. As of today, which is Sunday the 5th, we've just hit 800 subscribers on the channel, which is phenomenal. Please continue to pass it on. Please continue to like and comment. It means a lot to the algorithm in YouTube, and it means a huge amount to me. I really do appreciate all of your support. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like and comment. If you're a regular viewer, keep on liking, keep on commenting, and I'll catch you next week in the build video on the Garage Workshop. Take care, fellow woodworkers.